but you know that it's around. Maybe it's a vibe, a sensation got you driven that you can't put your finger on. Just got this premonition, something coming up the hall, coming up the hall, coming out the walls, coming to get ya. Coming up the hall, coming up the hall, coming out the walls, coming to get ya.
Buddy,
Yo,
what's up, everybody? Urban Soul Radio in the building.
Silver alert on Urban Soul Radio, man, with my man co-hosting, with my man Nelson in the building in LA,
in
man.
LA.
Wow,
I'm saying Inglewood.
Come on,
I'm losing
bro.
my mind. Lakewood.
Come on, man.
Lakewood. I just left Inglewood to get here.
No, I made some people get mad at me saying he's saying Inglewood. Like, what's wrong with Inglewood?
Oh no, I just left. No, I just left Inglewood to get to Lakewood. Too many woods.
Too many woods.
Yep.
Yo,
So what's going on with you, man?
Nothing. I like that piece. You know, he said we talked about the media, fake media. We don't really need this. Ain't fake media right here, though, bro. This is the real thing. This is news, not stories. You never notice they tell a difference. They say a story, then it is news. News is news. Stories, they telling you a story.
Right.
You know, and it's funny because even when I used to do radio back in Philly, man, I say daytime radio is scared of me because I'm the enemy.
Because you're the enemy,
Never play me on prime time because I know the time. I was like, wow, that's timely. And that was in 88.
88. Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Chuck, you on point, Chuck.
Exactly.
So come on down to LA. Come on inside the studio, man, where real people at, man.
There you go.
Where real stuff is jumping off at, man. So come on down, Chuck. We got a lot of people that's going to be coming on to the Silver Alert Urban Soul Radio, man, real soon. So, man, what's been up with you, man?
Shoot, man, working hard. Got to keep things going, man.
Working hard?
Yeah. Urban Soul Radio is keeping me busy.
That's
We got artists coming through. We got, everybody. Because what we do here at Urban Soul Radio, we keep it 100. We keep it 100. We give everybody their different variety of type shows, but we cater to the independent artists.
Yeah.
Because people aren't showing these artists that much love.
Yeah.
So, Urban Soul Radio was born.
Well, let me tell y'all real quick, man. I know you probably already caught on to it. Actually, this is the owner of Urban Soul Radio. I'm just a host here at Urban Soul. So
I come to sit in every now and then.
Yeah, he just sits in now and then and surprises, man. And if anybody did radio, I did radio for like almost 8.5, 9 years. So
right.
I understand how these owners sometimes pop up in places. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So
I come walking through every now and then.
And make sure everybody doing what they supposed to do. But he's a cool brother, man. But everything, it's good though. So what else was going on this weekend, man?
Man, you know what? I'm just loving our weather right now.
I know.
I'm serious. I'm ready to head down to the beach, kick back, relax, do what we got to do.
People on the East Coast mad at you, man.
Man, I'm telling you, these snowstorms, they can have them.
Yeah,
they can have them. Tornadoes, they can have them. Everybody, what about your earthquake? When? I don't want to put it out there, but when?
Yeah, I got kind of spoiled just being out here, man.
Oh, yeah.
I got spoiled. I got used to it though.
You're originally from New York, right?
Yeah, actually Philly.
And
I moved to New York, and then I came out here. Because New York and Philly is the same, basically. It's almost the same. It's like a hop, skip, and a jump. It's like honestly leaving from probably here to going to, let's say down to LA. That's, to me, is short.
Let me tell you what my fault is. All the traveling I've done has been out of the United States. So have I been to New York? No. Have I been to Florida? No. I mean, I've been to Florida, but places like that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start doing some traveling within the United States.
You gotta come to New York.
Oh man, I'm just gonna start hitting it right now because to go out of the country is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's too many people out there. They're doing a lot of American hating.
Well, we got
get caught up.
Yeah, we gotta be careful with the American hating. We gotta know who they hating. They ain't hating us. They hating someone else, but they hating us, brother.
I'll go to
the mix of it. Yeah.
Right, I'll go to another country and use another accent. Oh man, I'm telling you.
Hey man,
I'm serious.
What's that thing? Was that a stone? You better go study some languages or get some friends that speak Spanish.
Right, I'm not about to get beheaded.
Nah, they ain't gonna do. They look too much like us, brother.
Okay.
If you come with that mentality, something might happen though.
No.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you my story. What happened is, this weekend, brother. I was on a blue line yesterday, and I was just telling Brother Bill this, and I was like, yo, man, there was a Mexican guy, and this is real story. This real story really happened. Both of these stories really happened. I was standing on the blue line, 11 o'clock at night last night, and I'm like, it felt funny. I felt the vibe when I come up and down the elevator. It was 3 of them in the elevator, so I get in. Hey, what's up, y'all? What's going on? So we joking and the whole nine, and I'm thinking they getting on the train. Train come, we missed the train. So now mind you, I'm the only one on the platform. They go back down in the elevator again and come back up. Now it's 2 of them. Dude comes to me and say, you got 50. No, he said, you have 2 quarters. I said, 2 quarters. I said, no, I had 2 quarters. Then he asked me again, and I'm looking at this dude now. I'm saying, you know, at the same time, I'm looking for ink pens and something that's saying somebody's even going in these tracks because it ain't happening. So it was 2 of them, but they were drunk. And the Mexican dude was literally in my face like I'm near you. This is, and he was drunk. And I'm like, wow, I just had a flashback for what happened to me in Chicago. When I got off the bus.
Oh, dude, I can tell you about shit like that.
Brother, I got off the bus and I'm literally walking. And it was 2 Europeans, and I say Europeans, I mean white guys. I don't use, you know, white. But it was, you know, 2 of them and one brother, I don't know what he was, but they, you know, they was walking with me. I'm talking to them. They stopped me at the thing and asked me where something was at. But they was drunk. So now they followed me all the way to the subway station. You know, you get something to eat because I was hungry. Coming to meet my man Mel Jackson, the actor. Oh, okay. So Mel is riding around trying to find me. Now at the same time, my phone was dying. So I'm trying to call him. So I gets to a corner. The drunk dude said, "Give me my suitcase." I'm saying, "Your suitcase? This is my suitcase. This is real story, man." It threw me back to this 2 years ago. And I'm sitting there saying, "This ain't your suitcase, brother." He said, "Yes, it is." So he went to go grab it. So his brother grabbed him. You know what I mean? They was his brother. Oh, brother, you ain't here. Gets to the subway. I'm going in the door. They follow me to the subway station. You know what I mean? As I'm going in, he says, "Give me my suitcase again." But this time he grabs it as I'm walking in. He pulls the suitcase. You know the hat that they come up. He pulls that off. He broke it literally, and I actually had to hit this dude to get him away from me. Wow! I hit him so hard he fell almost over the railing. Now, mind you, they still there too. I had an ink pen in my ear, on the phone with somebody now. I'm like trying to get this phone started back up because I'm like on a dead. You know how you go down to your last bar, and I'm like, it was really dead red. So I'm on the phone trying to make phone calls. He comes in the subway station. They follow me in the station. And then he tried to grab the suitcase again after it was broke. I let it go. So now he follows me. So I finally got mad and grabbed him. And mind, just like 8 people in line ordering their food. They just looking. I'm like, is this really Chi-Town? Like, is this really happening to me, man? I literally was fighting this dude inside the subway station while the guys was from India who I guess that was running it. They looking trying to find out what's going on. I'm like, is nobody going to say nothing? So I hit the dude. Literally hit him. His whole jaw was busted. His brother, I still held my hand on his neck. His brother said, "Look what you did to my brother. Look what you did." I said, "Well, I told you to get him." That's what happened. While they calling the cops behind the counter. Now, this is the funny part. Mel will never let me live this down. After they left, after his brother's lips and everything was busted up, they go out the door. So the brother that was with them gets them out the store. But I was on the verge. I had an ink pen. I'm like, I'm going for the, you know what I mean? This is how I'm feeling. So I felt that last night. So after they left, the guy comes to me over the counter. "You want me to call the police?" Like, call the police. I said, "Dude, they gone." You know what I mean? I'm like, he's out. You know what I mean? Like, they're gone. So the police come anyway. I said, "Man, just give me my sandwich, man." I ordered the I'm like, "Could you give me my veggie sandwich?" So I'm sitting at the same time. I'm sitting in a restaurant, mind you, where I was eating, was fighting at. Sitting there eating. Mel pulls up in the truck and laughing. Like he said, "I don't believe you just did that, man. You was in a restaurant fighting. You were just, and then you ordered your food from the same spot." He said, "Boy, if that ain't Philly, I don't know what you call it." It was just the vibe. So I felt that last night with these, those Mexicans, and I'm like, yo, the first thing I'm looking for everything in my pocket, and I didn't know if this cat had a gun. I don't know what he had. You know what I mean? It was really crazy because I'm like, what is this guy up to? So the first thing I'm saying, somebody's getting thrown inside those tracks. Right. That was just me. But it was like that, man. But I never, like I said, I never experienced that out here in Cali. But that late. At night, I was told many times don't travel by myself at that time of night. But me being hard headed, I'm like, man, nothing can be worse than Philly. Yeah, it don't happen too much like that. I mean, it just depends. If you go in, do your thing, come on out. From many different places, I think you're pretty cool. Yeah. You don't really hear about stuff like that all day. Yeah, but it was just that Philly thing, man. And just my experience of being shot, man. I was shot 5 times, so it's like, yeah, bro. I mean, my head, my chest, my back. Trust me, and it was these things, and I was literally trying to grab the gun at that time, when I got shot, but it was like every bullet hit me. He only had 6 shots, but it's just that, me being in that predicament again. It's like, yo, I'm not letting these things happen. You know, that was just me. You know what I mean? It was like, people say, man, you need to stop being stubborn, brother, do something. No, man, I'm not. You know, I have a problem. My legs have a problem running.
Right.
That's it. My legs have a problem running, brother. When I got shot, I literally ran. And when I seen the first bullet hit me, you know, and I turned around and ran, I heard the guy say he got back up, and I started running, and he started shooting again. I'm just counting bullets. It was a 38. This is, you know, and I'm like, you know, and just going through that, I said, this is not happening to me again.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's probably what kept you going.
Yeah.
You know?
My adrenaline was pumped.
Oh yeah.
I mean, my adrenaline was pumped. I came home like the next day anyway, so it was like it was just me, and it's like, you know, when I get into those situations, I'm like, yo, this ain't happening, dude. You're not doing this to me. You don't, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're gonna be that, but that's this time, you know. Right. So that's what happened with me, man, over the weekend, man. And also, man, that's a lot of stuff about this Trayvon still going on. This,
you know, it was on the air every single day. It was in radio, it was in TV, it was in print, and now I haven't really heard that much about it.
Just said that. See,
it's like it's almost just dying out. Quick.
I said if anybody will go back to earlier radio shows when I was doing these things, I said follow it. There's a book I tell you called Introduction to Critical Thinking, and I tell everybody to get this book. When you read the book, it'll tell you how our people are, and how long they would do something. Pacify them. I was watching this movie called The Hunger Games, and it was speaking about fear. You know, it says hope is better than fear, and I had to think about it for myself. Hope. Now I'm picking the whole movie apart. Like I'm like, you're like, yo, do you hear what he's saying? And I'm saying, pay attention. Hope is better than fear. What do he mean by that? Hope. If I can sell you hope and tell you something's going to happen, you'll believe it.
Right.
See what I'm saying? I won't scare you because you might react a certain way.
Right.
See what I'm saying? This is, and when you read certain books, it tell you that on Introduction to Critical Thinking and things like that. But what happens, they can sell the hope. So the hope is, we're going to lock him up. We're going to let it fade away eventually. They're going to get tired of doing it. And I said this to people, something else is going to happen. If you go back 2 weeks ago, something's going to happen. Now, I was reading this paper about the Pasadena brother right here. You know, the Pasadena brother.
Oh, yeah.
They just got shot by the police. You know, and that's nothing new because they shot a brother, I think it was last year, trying to get on the bus. But see, these patterns is going to keep on happening until we wake up, until we realize really who we are, number one, and stop dealing with civil rights and deal with human rights. So these are the things that's going to have to, you know, be brought up. And when you're dealing with human rights, you're dealing with the constitutional law, you're dealing with international law, you're dealing with United Nations in Geneva.
Right.
So these things are going to constantly keep happening as long as we, you know, playing ourselves. Because I know you're not familiar with Noble Drew, but he said anytime you use names that allude to slavery, there's black, Negro, colored, African American, those names, and anything that happens to you, it happens to you because of those reasons.
Because of reasons.
I mean, because of who you calling yourself.
Right.
And he said this in the 1920s. But these things are going to keep on happening, brother, until we wake up.
Let me ask you this, because I keep hearing a lot of this stuff, and I tell people, you know, is it possible for us to let this go? But people still say, well, it's because of slavery that this is happening to us now. Do you believe that to be a reality?
What do you mean?
But they say, like, for simple, black people turning other black people in. Well, we were taught that in slavery. You know, if I told where you were, or if I told that you were getting ready to hide, I got something special. So people say that, you know, black people are turning black people in, and they still blaming it on slavery. What do you think about that?
Well, this is honest. That's a learned behavior. Like I tell everybody with everything else, it's a learned behavior. We don't. Again, it's not having knowledge of who we are. Because if you understood who you were, and you understood your brother, well, you wouldn't do those things. Because no other race of people really does those things that we do.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't blame it on slavery because I have a whole different outlook even on the term slavery. You know, so you have many people that was enslaved. So it's a lot of stuff. So I don't blame it on slavery.
Right.
I don't go there.
I mean, I'm to a point. I'm like, you know, stop blaming it on slavery. I know, you know, the racism part of it, and you know, like we were talking earlier. I do have a big problem, you know, with, I'll just say the N-word. I have a big problem with that. You know, mainly because of what my grandmother explained to me when she explained to me what she went through, you know, and what she explained to me when, you know, she was going into the store and people were telling her, hey, not before me, nigga, you know, something like that. So, you know, and in my house, if you use that word when I was growing up, I mean, my grandmother would come out of nowhere and knock you upside the head, you know. So when I kind of just looking at her when she was explaining it, and seeing the pain that she went through, you know, because of the word. You know, it's like I never use it. Friends that have been around me, excuse me, all my life, they know, don't call me that. So, you know, that's just me. This is my opinion of it, how it was explained to me and the pain from it.
But you know what? Again, it's only based on ignorance. Ignorance means that you don't know, and the Bible says we perish for the lack of knowledge. The thing is that we got to understand where the term come from. And to me, if you would say that to me, I would say thank you very much if you called me that. See what I'm saying?
Now,
because I understand
it came from which word?
It comes from the word nigus or nagus.
Okay, so if I called you that, you should be able to say thank you, right?
So follow me for a minute. If I say black, you're still calling me that too. If I called you Negro, you're still calling me that. One is just English, Spanish, and Latin. It's all the same thing. You're just saying it in the English term. You don't get it, so you should not even agree or like the term black. See how they manipulate you. So let me show you something what media does. Media will say when your boys is in a group, right? What do they call them? If it's, you got a celebrity that's walking, what do they call your boys as which is celebrity?
You catch me early in the morning here.
Your toes, posse.
Yeah, exactly.
Now let's look at a European. What do they call him?
I have no idea. I've never been
entourage.
Okay. Oh yeah, I got you.
When we dealing with our people, we gotta have bodyguards. No. When you go to the airport, you say security. If the president, you say security. See the language, and this is what media does. They can manipulate what it is. So what I'm saying to you is that we got to understand, stop letting people define, because it's not what they saying it is. See what I'm saying? And even in the culture of hip hop, people may get upset. I'll be like, no, we're not saying that word. We say Nigga. You know what I mean? That's how we using it, but we're not using it in the term. But again, if we want to play with language or semantics, you know, I've studied etymology. It's the origins of words.
Right.
So we're talking about it. We should not even use the term black then. We should use the term Moors then. If we talking about a race of people, we're talking about Asiatic people. If we're talking about race of people, you know what I mean, a nationality, we're talking about Moors. So why don't we deal with that issue right there?
Well, I think because of not maybe where it originated, but what it ended up being. I guess that's the
no matter what somebody
say. Well, I mean, look, if you punch in black in the dictionary, we're just talking about regular dictionary. We're not going to go into
we're talking about regular.
If you punch in black in the dictionary, it doesn't say ignorant. But if we got a phone call. Who could this possibly be? Hold on, let's go ahead and take it. See how they feel about it.
Hey, you welcome to Civil Urban Soul Solutions. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Greetings, this is Asha. I'm calling from Atlanta.
Hey,
well, how are you?
What's going on?
Oh, I'm just tuning in a little bit. So, you know, I heard what's going on there and what happened in Pasadena. And after reading the article, I would just like for you to explain why is it always like a focus on civil rights, and why haven't the people gathered so that they can file the human rights violations on an international level?
Wow. Okay.
That's deep.
Yeah, that's deep. But let me say, number one, I'm glad you asked that because people need to know this. One, blacks can never deal with human rights issues unless they deal with a nationality. Civil rights is a granted privilege that is given in which can be taken, and every certain amount of years they got to actually revamp it again.
Right.
So until our people again deal with their nationality, to deal with nationhood, you can never deal with another nation. This is why human rights is so important. Blacks can't do that, and so-called blacks, I don't want to keep saying blacks, so-called blacks cannot do those things until they come back to who they are. And it upsets me when I watch these people protesting and they keep saying no justice, no peace, and I'm like, stop singing the same song, talk about human rights and violence. Let's build on those issues. The reason why they cannot do it is because, number one, they're second class, and you have, like Malcolm said, there's no such thing as second class citizens nowhere else in this world. You know what I mean? You know, but until our people start dealing with the nationality aspect of it, you know what I mean, then we can deal with deal with human rights violations. And when you watched Obama, he went overseas, I think it was a couple years ago, anytime, just go look him up on YouTube. He goes to other nations and build on human rights violations. He never speaks about civil rights until he get back into the United States. So we got to ask those questions.
I mean, now that you say that, I got another question and then a comment, because when I was looking in the Bouvia's dictionary a little late last night, I read the source description of what a citizen is, right?
Wow.
And they specifically say that people of Aborigine or African origin can never be classified as being citizens.
Wow. See, this is the educated. This is educated listeners. Now, let me clear this up for people. Bouvier's is a law dictionary that Congress and them use. Bouvier's Black's Law is when anybody studies when they go to law school. This is the first thing you get. They actually have a 7th edition when you go to law school. But you get a law dictionary when you go to school. And these are definitions, legal terms that they use. But Bouvier's is mostly what Congress use and Ballantyne's, those types of books. So when she's saying that they can never be, that's the Dred Scott case. Before you go to college in any kind of law school, you have to study the Dred Scott case. Dred Scott case states that the descendants of Africans, rather emancipated or not, remain without rights or privileges except what the government might grant them. Now, I just said the civil rights was a granted privilege. So now you got to understand that when you're going into these situations, we're claiming to be something other than what we are. I just said earlier that if we're not being who we are, anything that comes to us, we brought it upon ourselves because we're using names that allude to slavery. That's African American, black, and colored. It's nothing, personal. It's just, it is what it is, But we keep saying we're that. So if we're admitting ourselves, there is no human family on this planet. I was just in a coffee shop and asked this European, could you show me where a black land is at? He said there is none. Just to show another brother this thing. So what happens is that I just said our race was Asiatics and our nationality were Moors. So what is that argument? So what I'm saying is, why don't the leaders, the so-called black leaders, know these things and share this with our people? See what I'm saying? So if she just read to you what the law dictionary said, and I'm telling you what the Dred Scott case said, something's going on here. You didn't never hear them raise the Dred Scott decision. No, never say it was overturned because it wasn't.
It was never overturned.
Yeah, what I'm finding is that as as I start digging deeper and deeper, the rabbit hole is just getting deeper and deeper. I will, I respect that you have all the callers calling in, but I will be touching base with you a bit offline because I have some questions. I've read and seen some things, and my eyes do not believe what I'm seeing.
Wow.
And I just want to close with a comment to say that just like how they have the National Sex Offenders Registry, they let everybody know, like, oh, is this a sex offender coming into your neighborhood and all this stuff. We as a collective who are concerned, maybe we should have some type of registry that highlights who these abusive, corrupt revenue officers are that keep on slaying and killing the people.
Wow.
That's
true.
It's nothing.
That's true. Will that ever happen? I don't know.
Oh, it will. It's coming, though. It's coming.
Even like what you were talking about civil rights earlier. I mean, civil rights cover so much from from people to even as far as like gay marriage. They said that gay marriage, they violated their civil rights.
But you know what that is? Let me share this with everybody. You know what civil rights is?
What?
It's a discrimination case. Everybody discriminates anyway. I discriminate who I'm gonna talk to tomorrow. So see what I'm saying? It's crazy. We don't even pay. Listen, you pay these people all this money, and we don't even realize. Don't ask them no questions. Look it up. It's a discrimination case.
It's a discrimination case.
That's human rights. Is when you kill someone. You can't kill somebody, beat somebody, and then call it a civil rights case, and then trying to get money. They know our people will go do that. But if you're a critical thinker and you understand these things, you say, wait a minute, hold up. Let's take this person to court. Don't talk about locking. You notice they didn't lock the guy up yet from Trayvon Martin. You notice the cop, they said they put him on paid leave. You don't get on paid leave. This dude is laughing right now, for real.
I don't even have to go to work.
Always go on. He just sitting behind a desk. This is what they say. They sit behind a desk and they get paid. What's the difference? I'll take that anytime. I'll be sitting back getting paid. I don't have to be on the street and deal with this drama. See, this is what you do when you think critically. You say, wait a minute, he should be in jail. For doing what they did.
True.
So only when it comes to us, but we have to have the right people in the right places. You got the wrong people in the right places now.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
All right, caller, anything else?
All right, y'all, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shit. You listen to Civil Alert on Soul. I'm going to messing with Soul Radio, man. We got to hit me, man. I got the owner sitting here, man. Like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Yeah, Urban
Soul Radio. Yeah, man.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Man. Fire, boy. But that's what's going on right now. But like I said, the right people in the right places have to be there speaking for our people. You can't have these people there. And it's funny because I was in what's it called? I forgot the name of the place. Simply Wholesomes.
Oh yeah, oh definitely.
I was speaking with the owner. Big up.
Go in and give me a wham sandwich.
Yo, man, big up to them, brother. Let me tell you what he said to me. We talked yesterday. He had that business over 28 years. He said to me, they asked him why. Now it was our people.
Right.
Asked him why did he paint the place red, black, and green. He said because it's mine. See, and this is why I love what
they actually asked him that question.
Oh, but that is nothing. They asked him why was Malcolm X's picture up in there. He said, because it's mine. He's not gonna put, and I put a gate around the whole place. That's when you start controlling your own. And when we start controlling our own, you know what I mean, then we become what we would say sovereign.
Right.
This is sovereign when you can control your media.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is what it is. And what happens, you don't ask anybody to do anything. Civil rights, you asking someone to do that. They have to read these things and find out what it is. Civil rights, you asking. Yeah. And then they can say yes, no. So, I may think about it. But when you talk about human rights, you demand it because now you're dealing with a family of nations. And this is why these things are going to constantly happen, because we are constantly lying to our children. Wow. And that is happening right now.
That is deep.
When do you want to watch reality shows?
You got a project that you've been working on.
Yeah, man.
Tell us about this.
Yeah, man. That's a piece that actually KRS-One and I it was funny how it was born. We was just in the studio and Chris wanted me to do a reality show with him, follow him around in his house while he cooked. People think he cook and wash and do all that kind of stuff. He's like, yeah, people don't think I do that, so I want you to follow me and do this in my house. So I was like, you know what? Let's just shoot it. We started shooting in the studio with my man Norris from Turtle Gang. We started filming inside the studio. So the event we put this event around surrounding a hip hop museum. Okay. They was trying to start. Somebody was starting to start a hip hop museum without speaking to the pioneers. So what happened, Africa Bambaataa, big up to Africa Bambaataa, he's like my uncle. And what happened, he called everyone and told them don't go to the event we had in New York. So everybody was pulling off. So KRS-One took it upon himself. We filming all this stuff. He goes in and says, this is not a legit function. Bam told nobody not to. KRS-One to spark the whole job. I said, man, this guy's crazy. He's in front. I mean, it was like over 300 people in this spot. People coming in from all over, LA and everywhere for a hip hop museum. So Chris gets up there and just spills and said, you did not consult the pioneers of hip hop. You cannot have a hip hop museum without consulting the pioneer. That's Kool Herc, Crazy Legs, Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash. He named everybody. Right. You know what I mean? And he was like, it ain't gonna go down. So we filmed all this. So we started to put a panel together called the Not Seniors Council, but with the pioneers, we had the Cold Crush Brothers, which you see on the front, with Crazy Eight. I mean, you got the host, man. You got everybody's on here. AD. You got Tony Touch. You got everybody. All the pioneers is in there. So
they were going to build this museum and not use the pioneers.
Exactly.
So where were they going to start at? Like Jay-Z or somebody?
Brother, this is what they do, and we try our best to say no. This is not where it started. We got to talk about Kool Herc. We got to talk about Bam. You got to understand the history where Kool Herc started.
That's ice.
You got everybody Herc, and then Bam comes in 73, 74. You know what I mean? So most people don't even understand the origins of hip hop. So this was actually done to give younger people the blueprint of where this stuff all came from. You can't, talk about hip hop without speaking about the pioneers of hip hop, man. Right. And I know all of them on it. So I know Chris. I went on tour with KRS-One many times. I basically live with Bambaataa in New York. So it's like when I'm back. So it's like I'm sitting with the pioneers of hip hop, and they tell me what I should be doing. And actually, Bam called me the fifth element of hip hop, which is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I just tried to call him and get him to call in, but he was on the road. But like Bam will be calling in, Bam will be coming in LA. He'll be coming into the show. Okay. The whole night. So like I said, the video was hot. Right. And I named it the Not Seniors Council for Hip Hop because of how they changed Christianity from its original form to how they changed hip hop from its original form to what it is now, and how Christianity was, and they changed it with the Not Seniors Council.
One thing that I'm noticing about hip hop, because I've been into music for forever. Back in the day, in hip hop, there was a story. Yes. And now there is really no story. They'll go from I was walking down the street to I'm eating a hamburger over here. They don't stick with the story. I'm like, okay, so I'm following this story. I'm listening to the hook. So I got an idea what the song is about. And then when they come out of the hook, it has nothing to do with the story. I'm just, because being a writer myself, I'm used to the story. That's what music has always been about. Love songs, it's always been about the story.
Yeah.
Hip hop now, I was listening to Drake the other day, and I'm like, okay, I'm listening for the story. Maybe times have changed and there is no story, but there's no story in these hip hop artists now.
Let me tell you something. The stories are still there. If you listen to Dougie Fresh, if you listen to KRS-One,
yeah, but you went back there.
No, I'm talking about now. I'm talking about now because Doug is still doing his thing.
Okay,
KRS-One just released another album with Mad Lion.
Right.
You know what I mean? And people don't even know that. But what happened due to the media?
Yeah.
This is why the media is very important. That we put this stuff back out there. We are the ones that determine.
Right.
Like KRS-One would always say, there is no creativity no more in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
There is no it's like reality show. There's no creativity in reality shows.
No,
this stuff that I see, the New York Atlanta Housewives and basketball. This is buffoonery, what they call it?
Yeah,
buffoonery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is what we're getting right now. This is nothing, and what happens, that sells.
Yeah,
they want that. That sells.
And that,
so, I mean, this is what is going on. And I know a lot of people in this business, and they're not really happy with it. But the thing is that, you know, they have a marketing team. Mm-hmm. But we are best marketers right here. But again, this is why you have all the raps, the hip-hop, well, let me say rap, recording artists pretending. Let's say that.
Right, okay, I got you on that one.
Recording artists pretending. Hip-hop is a culture.
Right.
That's a culture. We're not talking about hip-hop. We're talking about rap. Mm-hmm. You know, and then they try to push, like a KRS-One, or someone to say that's old school. You know, in the words of Bambaataa, man, he said it's true school.
It's true school.
It's true school.
Another friend of mine calls it real school.
Yeah, and that's all it is.
It's real school.
It is, but this is what it is. But see, again, it's fading away. It's like the Trayvon Martin case.
Right.
It's fading away.
Right. And matter of fact, just not switch back, but I was going to look up the Trayvon Martin case just to see where they're at right now because nobody's talking about it in the media.
Yeah, nobody's. I mean, again, due to this media, brother. I mean, the thing we got to keep up on it, and this is one thing. Hip hop, and what KRS-One say, hip hop, and you don't stop. You don't stop this.
Right.
You know.
But I think when people went through that, I sat on a panel, and they were talking about is hip hop dead? You know. I mean, it didn't die, but it kind of laid back for a little while. You know, I think because, you know, I think while we were going through that transition from the old school artists into these new school artists, things just kind of fell off for a little while. A lot of radio stations stopped playing hip hop.
Well, you know, you got this thing called payola. I know you know about.
Right.
But anyway, this is why you have also going back to the Trayvon Martin case because, you know, you have people listen to this hip hop. Mm-hmm. And then they'll start, you know, saying, well, they don't respect themselves. But listen to it. I'll be asking cats, how many times you can cook coke in the same line?
Right.
How many times you can shoot the same person?
Right.
See what I'm saying? So when you watch it, and other people, the world is watching us. Mm-hmm. Because, like KRS-One said, the reason why we have racial profiling, he said, because you keep buying hoes. There's a song he had. Mm-hmm. The reason why we have these killings because you keep buying hoes. The hoes are these rappers that's out here selling this poison. So everybody else looks at us. Now they're gonna say the hoodie is the reason why he got killed. Everybody, I would say, well, brother wearing a suit and tie, kill him too. Then, if that's the case, you know, he don't even realize he wearing a noose on his neck. Mm-hmm. Think about it. That's a noose.
Yeah.
These are the things that, you know. So is the image of him wearing the hoodie? I mean, what is it? Or the image that the guy saw on TV? Mm-hmm. And some people say, no, it's not it. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. I watch New York Housewives, and not Atlanta. I keep saying New York. Mm-hmm. Atlanta Housewives, and in your subconscious mind, you got a conscious and a subconscious. Your subconscious mind is taking over and wanting to be like that on TV, regardless of whether you saying you don't want to, but it is. You say, okay, well, I don't need a man. Look, she's shopping on Rodale Drive. Look, I need those shoes too. Yeah, $1,500. What?
Yeah.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
But we have to change it. So what I always say to people, we don't have to condemn the dirty glass. Let's put up a clean glass and let the people choose it. Mm-hmm. Let's put up something good up against something that's false and phony. Mm-hmm. That's all we got to do. Right. And this would ease a lot of this stuff. Like I'm looking at this picture here with Trayvon Martin with this hoodie on. We didn't got these people paid who sell sweaters now.
Oh yeah, they made.
We got Skittles paid.
Yeah.
Skittles stock went up.
Yeah.
And actually it's bad for you.
Yeah.
The dye that's in it, the lard that's in it. Come on, man.
Yeah, they were like buy Skittles and send them to the police department.
That's insane.
They were doing all kinds of stuff.
We don't. Yeah. This is what we don't get. We don't understand that. So again, we have all these panels, all these people on these panels, and this is the stuff that we demand. How you gonna demand something when you ain't even thinking right? Mm-hmm. How? Slaves can't demand anything.
Right. No.
Let's be real.
Yeah, you can't.
So come on, man. So I mean, these problems can be fixed, man. But again, the wrong people in the right places.
Right.
Man. That's all.
Again, with hip hop and radio, it was to a point where sponsors didn't want to be a part of a hip hop station because of the negativity that they felt was given off. Yes. So sponsors were dropping off, and that was another reason why radio stations were like, we're not playing it.
Wow.
They were not playing it.
You got a lot of good people. You got like Lupe, you got Mos Def, you got Talib, you got a lot of people that is putting out real music, but again, they don't get that.
Yeah, but again, look how far back you got to go.
No, but
Mos Def. I mean, he's. Of course,
but they still relevant. They still doing music.
Exactly.
See, I'm not talking.
But they're not. But you will listen to Power 106 all day long.
But
and you won't hear Mos Def. You won't hear KRS-One
because they don't want you to think. Again, they don't want our people to think. You want to know why we in the condition that we are in is because of that. Mm-hmm. The most powerful person in radio is the program director. The program director is the one who says yes and no, we're going to play this or not. This is what's going on.
Right.
And back east, I had a problem with a lot of those people because I wasn't going for that. I said, no, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some food for thought. Mm-hmm. My show, Civil Alert, is for food for thought so you can think. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So wait, let's look at this from another way. Mm-hmm. You know, that's all we got to do. Like I said, put up the clean glass against the dirty glass of water.
You have to make a choice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Cool.
That's all we got to do.
All right.
You know.
So we had something else over there.
No, but it's just basically all the same thing on Trayvon Martin. I'm looking at different things about, talk about death of a teen sparks national debate over race, profiling the law of hoodies. What, they gonna start licensing people not to wear hoodies now? Well, seriously, this is what they're getting to.
Right.
They're gonna ticket you for having a hoodie on your head soon. I'm telling y'all.
Yeah, I believe it.
Listen, man. You call it a
or they'll say if you don't want to get shot, or if you don't want to get arrested, or if you don't want to get a ticket, don't wear the hoodie on your head. It can be raining. You can have a hoodie. Don't put it up.
Don't put it up.
Don't put it up.
Man, I better take my hat off my head.
Yeah, for real. I'll come up with something else.
Yeah, but I'm just this is what they doing, man. It's if you just watch anything that we're dealing with, what they usually do. They'll say no. Now they trying to ticket people for having their pants sagging.
Oh yeah.
I said, wow.
Yeah.
Well, they should have gave people tickets back in the 50s and 60s wearing high waters then.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Exactly. I disagree with the pants thing, but how you going to give me a ticket? You know what I mean? And it's funny because KRS-One.
Well, I think they're looking at it as indecent exposure.
Bro, they got nude beaches out here.
Right, but that's zoned for that.
It don't
walking across Lakewood is not zoned for it.
Little European white boys been doing that.
Yeah.
They never thought about that. You got to understand what's going on. So because of our people are ignorant, that's why they doing what they doing.
But you know what? I kind of applaud it because I'm tired of watching these watching the news and you see these guys running from the police sagging.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
That is just that's at least pull them up and run, because when you got a fat white cop catching a 16-year-old black kid, there's something wrong.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
That's something wrong.
That is kind of crazy.
Something wrong, but he can't run. He got to sag. He got to run.
But pull him up. Let's go. That's really too crazy. I mean, the pants is really too low. Yeah. Like I have mine hanging just a little bit, but I don't have it hanging like that. Right. You know what I mean? But I'm me. You know what I mean? Right. So anything that's pertaining to us, man, is this like they try to ticket it, give us a fine. I mean, outlaw it. Like I said, they're gonna try to outlaw soon. Don't wear a hoodie, you're gonna get a ticket. Yeah, this is crazy, man.
Yeah, or at night.
At nighttime. We're at nighttime.
That's it.
We're gonna give you a ticket. We don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you hear what happened to Tyler Perry?
I was going to say that. Yo, you read my mind, man. You read my mind.
That was ridiculous.
Yo, I said Tyler Perry got his wake-up call.
Yeah.
Since you don't want me to say that on air. But
he did.
He got his wake-up call like Oprah did.
Yeah.
And he thought he was somebody else. Oh, really? Look at the car you driving.
I know.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And they thought he was reaching for something. Get out the car.
He could have bought it right there.
Could have bought it. But listen, you don't think that this stuff exists? He got another thing coming.
Yeah, he
got his wake up call.
You'll probably see another movie coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, I might, you know, me and my man might sit here and we might write it up or something like that. We might do a skit like that. You know, it don't take much to really make something like that happen. Actually, that might be a good idea to do something like that. Do a little piece on that.
Do a piece on it.
We can rent the police cars and somebody in the uniform. That don't take much. We in Hollywood, right?
Exactly.
Anything's possible. Yeah. So. Man, we got our time is almost up, man. We got like 10 more minutes. So what else is going on, man?
Man, a little bit of everything. Health-wise.
Let's talk about that.
Let me tell you, I don't know what's going on with our people of color, man. I'll put it that way. I don't know what's going on.
Just say Asiatics, man.
Asiatics, I got you.
Asiatics, man.
I don't know what's going on. Health-wise, I'm seeing more and more childhood obesity. In our neighborhood. Driving through Beverly Hills, we had our office in Beverly Hills. You couldn't find a McDonald's. You couldn't find a Jack in the Box. You couldn't find a Taco Bell. I'm like, are you serious? Just driving up and down Wilshire.
Really?
Couldn't find one. But as soon as you come out of Beverly Hills, guess what's almost on every single solitary corner? A fast food place.
Ignorance.
We were tripping off of that. We couldn't all drive. We're like, oh, let's grab a snack before we go into the office. You're going to stop and go into a restaurant. That was the only way that it was going to happen. And it was going to be like a sushi bar or, something like that. A little sandwich, mom and pop store. But you could not find where you're going to drive up, grab you some chicken or grab you a Big Mac and come out of there.
Wow. But they just got on Mary J. Blige, a lot of our people, about the buffoonery that she was doing on Burger King, doing a commercial for it. Right. See, some people chase after the money. And the thing is, they're not teaching our people about the diabetes. If we have to change our lifestyle, I don't want to say diet, because diet means to die.
Right.
That's what it means. So we're not talking about diet, we're talking about our lifestyle. And really, it can be curbed. All of the problems that we have, if we just ate right. You know what I mean? Like I would share with people, I had a couple iguanas, and my iguanas were dying because I was feeding them iceberg lettuce. Now, iceberg lettuce don't have no nutrients in it. So they say our child is malnutrition, but the adults are malnutrition. They have no nutrition in their body. And what funny is happening, I tell people these stories, and these are real stories. My father passed away, and he said he felt something scratching his insides. And what he had cancer, he was dying. But before he passed away, I'm sitting there. Nobody knew what my father was going through at that time. But he said felt something scratching his insides, and what it was looking for food, the nutrients. AIDS survive in an acidic body. It cannot survive in alkaline body.
Right.
So now look at the food that they're selling our people. The yeast, the bread. Look at the iceberg lettuce, which is killing our people. They got it at McDonald's, and I know they don't have romaine lettuce.
Oh yeah.
But if you go to an Italian,
go from the prices.
Yeah, But again, junk food is cheaper. They make it cheaper for you because it's in the hood. I mean, this is what's happening. Right. So I was in Detroit. They was taking the meat from up in the suburbs, bringing it down to the hood, and they would put some type of color on it and sell it to the people that was there. Again, having not knowledge of who you are, these things are going to happen. Not knowing that you don't eat certain things. And you put certain things in your food. You go to an Italian restaurant, they got olive oil, which is good for your system.
Exactly.
You got romaine lettuce sitting there. Just pay attention. Now, when you go to the Chinese store, they got all this hard oil. Right. They got all the other stuff. Because number one, we have other people in our communities. I mean, correct that. We don't have communities. We have neighborhoods. Because we have communities, somebody wouldn't be in there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just real. So what happens? You have other people selling our people food. When I was in New York, I was down Chinatown and I was in Starbucks, and I had my brother, Nars from Turtle Gang. I said, look around in Starbucks. What do you see? He said, what are you talking about? He said, I said, what are you seeing here? He said, I don't know. I said, do you see their culture in Starbucks? And you know what I mean?
Wow.
But we in Chinatown. So what's your culture?
Yeah.
What's your food? Yeah. So we got to go back to that. What were we eating?
What are we eating?
See what I'm saying? So again, wrong people, right places.
Right.
That's all that's going on. If we understood, my sons was vegetarians when they were born. My sons wouldn't touch certain things. If milk hardens the pineal gland and it causes cancer.
Excuse me. So what are they still vegetarians now?
Yeah, they vegetarian. One of them tried to go over and I let him eat his junk because he's older now. He's like, go ahead, but I let him know, if you're around me, and this is what I have in my house. There is no dairy products in my house.
Right, exactly.
That causes cancer.
Right.
And I would say, well, use almond milk. Or if you want to use that, use coconut milk. Soy milk, you know, I used to drink it. I would if I'm out, you know, because really some places don't have it. Some people say estrogen is in it. I've been drinking it for years. I don't have no breasts.
Yeah, because they were saying that soy milk is not good for males because it causes sterility. And I talked to a couple of physicians. They said you'd have to have, like literally probably. Gallons of it at one serious time.
I've been drinking it for like 15 years, man. Yeah. But I switched over now to almond milk and coconut milk.
Right.
You know, and these things, you know, and I touch on health a lot, and I tell people to clean their insides with bentonite clay. I brush my teeth with that type of stuff. We should teach our children to brush their teeth like that because it makes your teeth white. Also, these are the things that we can use naturally. Clay takes out all the poison in your system. So we need to start teaching our children this and our adults. I'm telling you that they make millions of dollars off of our people being sick. And I was with a doctor in Philadelphia in a gym. He told me they make millions of dollars off of people's mouth.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I said off their mouth. He said yes, because everything goes inside the mouth. Your mother, you get sick. What do your mother tell you to do? Put the medicine under what?
Under your tongue.
All right then. So the same thing with toothpaste.
Yeah.
Poison control. It says the contact poison control. See, it's a lot of health things that we can build on. Right. You know, this is what I used to, I bring to the air when I talk about on Civil Alert. I bring all these types of things so people can start thinking for themselves. So, actually, our time is up, man.
What's up?
I want to thank my brother Nelson for sitting in with me on Civil Alert today.
Problem, man. I'm definitely going to come back through.
Yeah, man. I mean, this was hot.
I got a boy I definitely want you to meet. His name is Born Allah.
Born Allah. Yeah. Born Allah. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Until next time, man. See you on Civil Alert.
That's it. We out.
Peace.